right, so here I have an envelope that is about 9 by 12. And what I'm going to do is put cookies in it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp. And this is from Christmas Delivery, so Webster's Pages. I'm going to use this stamp right here because it says airmail, and it kind of goes with the whole theme of putting cookies in an envelope. All right, so I'm going to stamp it in the corner. Pull up the flap so that you don't get a line in your stamp. I'm going to do half red, half green on this stamp. So I'm using aged mahogany distress ink. Okay, so I'm going to do like the top half, that color, and then I'm going to do peeled paint distress ink for the bottom. Okay, I'll try not to run them in together. Okay. There we go. Okay, so there we have the nicely stamped image in the corner. So I might write in here the type of cookies. Okay, so I'm going to write in chocolate, ginger, snap cookies, which happens to be one of my favorite recipes, but it's packed away right now. So I'm not sure who I'm going to give it to yet, but I'll fill that in later. Okay, so it's perfect just to, write the person's name and your name. Okay, now to make this envelope really cool, what I want to do is I want to cut a hole in it so that you can showcase a few of the cookies. It's like a see-through package, but just a circle, okay? So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to grab a Spellbinders die. This is called Standard Circles Small. So I'm going to find a spot in here. You can see the die through the envelope, and I'm going to trace it on the outside. Okay, and then I'm going to cut it. Okay. So if you have an X-Acto knife or a craft knife, you can actually keep the die in there. It will help. It'll help with cutting this nice circle, okay? And it'll also keep you from cutting through the other side, okay? Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay. All right, so far so good. Okay, next step, I'm going to be taking this other die, and I'm going to cut myself a little frame, and I'm going to use a nice red cardstock. Okay, so what you do is, first of all, you cut this one first. I'm going to use a nice red cardstock. Okay, so here's my red cardstock. I'm just going to cut what I need, and I'm going to run it through my grand caliber. Okay, so the cut side goes on the textured side. Then I'm going to just run it through right now. Okay, so now that I have the circle cut, I'm going to cut out the center as well because we still want this piece to show through. So I'll line it up right in the middle. I'll put tape on it to position it, then I'll cut this. Okay, so here's what I have. You can just put that aside, and this will go right there. But you do need a little piece of plastic. So what I use is, so any old packaging you have from, your scrapbook supplies you can use. This is like a plastic bag. You can pick these up at dollar stores or whatnot. And I'm just going to slip it in there, and I'm going to tape it down. Go ahead and be very careful when you're putting this inside. Make sure you open it up so that this doesn't stick to anything else. Just line it up. Okay. Okay, and then stick it down. Okay. Next, you can go ahead and glue this guy on there. Okay, and what I'm going to use to adhere this down, these are called micro adhesive squares. And these are by Glue Arts, and they're just very tiny for projects just like this. Okay, so you don't need to do the whole thing, just pieces here and there. Okay, maybe one more, and then we'll stop. Okay, so line that up. Alright, so we're done with the die cutting. We've created our little window there. So imagine your little cookies in there showing through this nice clear package. I want to show you a cool thing. You probably already know how to do this. But if you have StaysOn ink, what you can do is take this cute cookies stamp. This is in the Samantha Walker stamp set called Christmas in the Kitchen. Let's see, I have this Timber Brown StaysOn ink. So I'll just make sure that's nice and saturated. Then I'll stamp it on the plastic. Aha, there we go. Alright, so there is our envelope ready for your cookies, and I have an insert idea for you. I'm going to let this dry a little bit. I want to turn it over and do one more stamp in the meantime. Okay, so what you can do is cut a piece of cardboard or cereal box even, something that's sturdy for your cookies, and make sure, just trim it down so that it'll fit inside your envelope, but leave some space, probably about ½ inch on each side, because your cookies are going to be raised and pulling on the envelope. And then you find a piece of matching Christmas paper. Okay, so I'm going to use this paper from Basic Gray from their Jovial collection. I am going to glue it onto the board here. Just going to go along and use those extreme adhesive squares. Saran wrap is also going to hold this paper in place, so don't worry about having it super glued. Okay, this is really just to make your cookies look pretty when you present them. Okay, so put your paper on top, line it up. Okay, now I'm going to go trim this down. Alright, so there's my Christmas board. Okay, nice and sturdy for your cookies. So line up, 5 cookies, maybe 3 rows of 5 small cookies, probably about, 2 inches each. Okay, so before you put your cookies on your board, you're going to want to wrap it with Saran. You can just use some tape to keep it in place at the back, because the back doesn't have to look pretty. Just pull it nice and tight. Okay, and this will just make sure that your decorative paper doesn't get all oily with the butters in your cookie. Okay. Alright, so there you go. Now I am moving. That is my excuse for everything these days, and I don't have time to bake anything for this particular episode. I wish I did, but I'm just going to put a cookie there. Wrap it in Saran, just so you can see what the envelope will look like, alright? With that cookie peeking through the window. So once you lay all your cookies down, you probably get 3 rows of 5. Make sure they're nice and flat. Okay, so one final thing I wanted to show you was the back. And there's a stamp set that I just adore. It's called Home Baked, and it's also a Samantha Walker stamp set from Unity. And it says 100% certified homemade. And whenever I, bake and give it away, I always go to this stamp because I just think it's so cute. So to close off your envelope, do this before you seal it and make sure it's flat inside. So just saturate that. I'm using the aged mahogany again. And I want to stamp it maybe off to the side here. Okay, so when they open it or when they turn it around, they see this. Okay, 100% certified homemade. All right, so I didn't quite line that up, but you may not have it lined up anyway. You're probably going to have, there'll be 4 cookies maybe showing in there, but that would look so cute. Okay, well, I hope you give this a try. I hope you make cookies and enjoy making them as much as I do. And, if I find, once I unpack and find that recipe for the chocolate ginger snap cookies, I will gladly share it. All right, take care and Merry Christmas.